The Rural Funds Group is a real estate investment trust. It's the product of the merger of three funds that RFM operated over the past decade. So this new real estate investment trust was created from that merger in December last year and then listed on the ASX in February this year. Yeah, we're really quite pleased on how the stock's performed since its listing. We came on at 75 cents and we're trading at around 92 cents at present. And during that period there was a distribution paid. We pay our distributions quarterly, and so that was a distribution of around 2 cents per unit. The drivers for it are really quite simple. As I said, it's a real estate investment trust, so the drivers are the rent has been paid and we've kept costs down. The main process that Rural Funds Management uses is experience. We've been in business since '97, making us the oldest agricultural funds manager in the country, and we have a management team that combined has decades of experience in agriculture. The Rural Funds Group owns 27 properties. They're located in South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales. As it expands, I would envisage that we would be invested in all states of Australia. The benefit of the approach of the Rural Funds Group is that because it's a real estate investment trust or a REIT, it doesn't have the volatility that one would normally expect from agricultural operations. Instead, we're simply collecting the rent and paying regular distributions. The Rural Funds Group is forecast to pay a distribution of 8.6 cents per unit, and that's based on a 90% payout ratio. So it's quite a high distribution yield for the stock. The way we're achieving that is by focusing our investments in highly transformed assets, such as assets that have additional infrastructure installed on them. And so in a sense, the assets owned by the group are really industrial agricultural assets. The goals for the Rural Funds Group in the medium term are, first of all, to continue to collect the rent, to keep costs down and to keep paying distributions as forecast. In addition to that, I think that we need to get out and communicate the benefits and the attributes of Rural Funds Group so that the market is better informed about the stock. And I think that once that's been achieved, that the market will see the value in the stock and we'll start to trade at a price closer to our net asset value. The Australian agricultural sector is quite large. Looking at commercial property though, the total value of commercial property, investment grade commercial property, is $280 billion in Australia. In agriculture, the total value of investment grade property is $165 billion. So it's actually quite a large sector. Interestingly, 70% of commercial property is institutionally owned, whereas in Australia we think probably only 10% of agricultural property is institutionally owned. Moreover, if you look at agricultural property in developed countries offshore, the leasing rate is generally around 40%. Our best guess for Australia though is 5%. So we think there's actually some pent-up demand for the provision of leasing products to the agricultural sector in Australia. The immediate priority for the Rural Funds Group is to keep paying distributions as forecast, and we're on track to do that. In addition to that, we want to continue to communicate the attributes and benefits of the Rural Funds Group and where it can suit an investor. We think that as that occurs, that our trading price will continue to rise and we'll start to trade at around about our net asset value per unit. If that occurs, we think that an earnings accretive investment opportunity will become available and that a capital raising will become possible.